guys, how are you doing today? Welcome back to Random Lifestyle Vlog. So today I have an advent calendar to unbox with you, and it's the Harrods Fragrance Advent Calendar. It is stunning, isn't it? So before we start, just forgive me this, because we honestly just landed. We honestly just finished our holidays. We landed it was 6:30 I think p.m. and it's, what time is it now? Oh, it's 8:30, so you can see the commitment. I literally did not really waste any of my energy to do my makeup, so this is what I ended up with. I literally had a shower, washed my face, and yeah. So it is what it is. We'll kind of have to accept the situation, but we're going to focus on this beauty rather than on my face. So let's not waste any more time, because my energy levels might just drop soon, and I would like to do at least one more video after this one more advent calendar unboxing video. So let's start. So this is how it opens, and these are all the boxes inside. It is quite heavy, I'm not going to lie. As far as details go, this advent calendar was priced at £175 with a value of over £1,000. Last year it was a little bit cheaper. I think it was £150, but the value was around £880, something like that. So both the price and the value went up, which is fine. It is currently sold out, but I do get information from people here and there that they managed to buy it still. So if you are interested in this advent calendar, just keep on checking. Who knows? Okay, let's start. Let's open the box number one. This is our box number one. It's actually matching the background that we have here, so that was not planned. So our first fragrance is one of the very beautiful fragrances. This is by Gypsy Water. I actually have this in a full size. It is stunning. So this is what the bottle looks like. We have 8 ml over here. This is a woodsy aromatic fragrance, but I find this very feminine. So the top notes are juniper, lemon, bergamot, and pepper. The middle notes of pine needles, incense, and orris root, and then base notes of vanilla, sandalwood, and amber. And if I were to describe you this fragrance, I would probably say the name actually matches it perfectly. This is such a beautiful, kind of like a summery springtime fragrance. It's very melancholic, I would say. There's nothing really sexy about this fragrance, but this is this beautiful, romantic, slightly elegant, melancholic fragrance. It is beautiful. You definitely have those aromatics in here, but I think this is a fragrance that's very easy to like, actually. Even though this is a niche brand, I think Barredo is actually quite good at making fragrances that are good crowd pleasers. They're not super difficult to like. Okay, let's move on to our door number two, and this one is actually quite big and quite heavy as well. So what do we have in here? Okay, so we have eccentric molecules, and this is molecule 4, and we have 30 ml over here. So here's the thing about those fragrances, they just don't really go that well with my skin. Molecule 4, just to check, this is a woody fragrance. The molecule that's used here is sandalwood. So that's actually quite interesting, because I really love sandalwood, but there is something about these fragrances that just doesn't really go with my skin. They smell... Listen, I do like masculine fragrances. I do use some masculine fragrances, but this smells so masculine on my skin that I just can't wear it. The great thing is that Robert loves these fragrances, and they actually smell gorgeous on him, so this is definitely going to join his collection. He's tried that fragrance already. This is a really nice fragrance. I feel like both of these fragrances have kind of this romantic bohemian almost vibe, but as much as I like the Gypsy Water, this one just doesn't go on my skin. Fun fact, they actually have those new fragrances with iris and patchouli and was it mandarin or something. These ones actually the single molecules, not for me, but definitely a great way to test them if you haven't tried these fragrances. They do smell different on different people, completely different, so sometimes you might not even be aware that someone's using the same fragrance as you. Okay, let's move on to our day number 3, and this one, look how big this one is. It's not super heavy, but the size is actually quite impressive, isn't it? So let's see. Alright, so this one is very exciting because we have Roja perfumes, and this is Elesium Intense. And this, as far as I'm aware, this is a masculine fragrance, but let's not be worried about it too much, because I have tried some of their masculine fragrances and they were just fine on my skin. So I'm just going to test it out for sure. So this is the whole presentation. Ta-da! So we have 10 ml over here, and this is the bottle. So here the notes are top notes: bergamot, grapefruit, lime, rhubarb, lavender, thyme, artemisia and musk. Quite a lot of notes. Hard notes: lily of the valley, orange blossom, rose de mai, jasmine, the grass, tuberose, apple, blackcurrant. Base notes: galbanum, black pepper, cypriol, vetiver, cedarwood, drywoods, violet leaf, juniper, berry, benzoin, vanilla, labdanum, leather, ambergris, and musk. Okay, so let's give it a go. Let's see if this is going to be too masculine for me, or maybe it's just going to be like masculine enough, you know? It's definitely a masculine fragrance, but I do like that vibe. I think it's going to be perfect for like winter and autumn, and it does remind me of, like, for example, I don't know if you've tried Aran fragrances. Aran, like, they have like shower gels and hand washes and stuff like that, and they have those like fragrance compositions that literally remind you of like Scotland or like Scottish nature. So I kind of get like a similar vibe from this fragrance. It does really give me this very natural, almost like mineral fragrance to it. So it is gorgeous, and I'm definitely going to keep this one for myself. Let's find the day number 4 now. So it's over here. This one is very light, so I'm not really expecting a full size here, but ooh, okay, so we have something by Montal, and these are generally light fragrances. I mean, I do have a couple of fragrances, and they're like 30 ml, and they, because of the bottle that is just made of aluminium, they're very light, and it feels like there's almost nothing there. But this is a full size. I mean, this is not a full size fragrance, but if you have like a 30 ml fragrance, it's going to be very light because of the packaging. So here we have 20 ml, so that's still quite a nice size, isn't it? And this is Arabian Sundka, and I love this one. So this is this beautiful vanilla ambery fragrance. It does smell like money. Like, so many of those like niche fragrances give you this very expensive vibe, but this one is no exception. It's a beautiful fragrance. So the note here, and you know, some of these notes are like my all-time favorites. So the top notes: saffron and bergamot. I adore saffron in fragrances like that. It just gives this kind of like elevated kind of vibe to those fragrances. Then we have agarwood, which is oud. I love this note as well. You kind of have to like woodsy fragrances because there's a certain smokiness that comes with that, but it is stunning. And then we have Bulgarian rose. Again, Bulgarian rose goes really nicely with like all those like woodsy compositions. Then we have base notes of tonka bean, sugarcane, amber, white musk, and oak moss. I don't really get much oak moss here, so this is just like a complimentary note, I would say. But the tonka, rose, saffron, a little bit of like ambery notes. I mean, this fragrance is just stunning. And then we have 20 ml, which is quite a good size. I actually have this fragrance in this size exactly, and I love it. So I'm actually really happy to have a little bit of a backup now. Okay, day number 5. Oh, day number 5 is the biggest one of them all. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, like, most of my full-size fragrances are not even that size, so that is interesting, isn't it? Let's have a look. Fancy. Look at that. That looks gorgeous. This is Tiziana Terenzi, and this is Kuma, and this one is in Extract de Parfum concentration. So wow, how big is this? Oh my god, so we have 50 ml over here. To be honest, I did the reveal of this advent calendar like some time ago, and I remember loving this advent calendar, but this is even better, like having those fragrances in real life and unboxing them and just being able to sniff them all. Amazing. So we have this little booklet here as well that tells us a little bit more about like other Tiziana Terenzi fragrances, so you know, a little bit more to read later on. So this is supposed to be a woodsy, fruity vanilla fragrance. That sounds very much like something up my alley, and it does have quite a lot of notes. So let's have a look. The top notes: passion fruit, cassis, lemon, and bergamot. The middle notes of raspberry, fig leaf, magnolia, lily of the valley, cinnamon, and then base notes of vanilla bean, vanilla flower, birch, sandalwood, amber, oak, and musk. So I honestly cannot imagine how this is going to smell, so let me just spray it somewhere. I cannot even imagine how this is going to smell, even though the notes sound amazing. Oh, that is gorgeous. That is just so stunning. I cannot. I mean, this is a beautiful fruity woodsy fragrance. I just need to spray it on my other hand to see. Oh my god, that is so pretty. It's fruity, it's woodsy. I get a little bit of this almost like a boozy vibe from it. It is stunning. I think this might be a favorite of mine from this advent calendar. I mean, maybe along with Arabian Sundka, because I really love that one as well. But this one, stunning. And I have 50 mils over here, so I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? Okay, day number 6. Day number 6 is over here, and this one is actually quite heavy as well. Do you know what? I get a little bit more vanilla now from the Tiziana Tarenti fragrance. It is, wow, I have no words. I have no words. This one is so good. So, okay, day number 6. We're like halfway through now. Oh, that looks cute. So, this is our next fragrance in this kind of like orange pouch. And this is Ormond Jane Montabaco Verano. And this is what it looks like. I have tried a couple of fragrances from this brand, and like literally 2 of them, and I love them, so high hopes. Verano, that's summer, right? Or am I wrong? I think it's summer. So is it going to be like a summery fragrance? Let's see. I think it might be. It's a citrusy, leathery, woody fragrance, so we might get a little bit of a similar vibe to the Roja fragrance, but let's see. So this is a citrusy, leathery, woody fragrance. It might smell a little bit like more on the masculine side, but this is described as a fragrance for men and women. So let's try it out. So the notes here are top notes grapefruit, middle notes cashmeran, and then base notes tobacco, suede, leather, and woodsy notes. But that is actually really nice. That might actually lean slightly masculine for some people, but I do think this is going to be a perfect fragrance for like autumn and winter. It does give me a little bit of this kind of like a very natural kind of like windswept vibe. Yeah, I actually really like that one. And this is what size is this? This is 30 mils, so very good size as well. Day number 7 over here. This one does seem a little bit on a heavier side. I know that not all these fragrances inside are going to be like great sizes. We're going to have like some like minis, but so far I can't complain. Okay, I'm pretty sure many of you guys bought this advent calendar for this fragrance. This is such a popular scent. This is Parfum de Marley Delina. And here's the thing about me and Delina. I would not describe this fragrance as like one of my favorites. I never liked it enough to buy a full-size bottle. This is like a rosy, fruity fragrance. It's floral, but it has like a little bit of sourness to it. So I would describe it as a floral freshie. That's not really my vibe to the point that I would actually spend that much money on it. But there have been like so many fragrances recently, like in the recent couple of years, that were compared to this scent. And that was, for example, some of Carolina Herrera fragrances. That was the Angel Nova one. A couple more scents, and to be honest, even though, as I said, this is not like my top 5 or anything like that, I don't think any of those fragrances, like so-called dupes, I don't think any of those fragrances is even halfway as good as this one. Even though, as I said, not my favorite, I do appreciate the craftsmanship behind this fragrance. So let's have a quick look at the notes. So the top notes here, lychee, rhubarb, bergamot, nutmeg. The lychee and rhubarb notes give this sourness to it. Then we have middle notes of Turkish rose, peony, musk, pitalia, vanilla. And then base notes of cashmeran, incense, cedar, Haitian vetiver. So a very beautiful floral fragrance, but that kind of like a woodsy base makes it a little bit more like long lasting. It's a very nice fragrance, and to be honest, I'm very happy to have it now, even though that's not something I would just purchase by myself. And this is a perfect fragrance for spring and summer. It's really nicely made. It's really nicely made. Maybe not for those of you who really hate rose, although the rose here is very modern, so it's not like a kind of like a granny rose, you know. It's a very kind of modern rose. It's a beautiful fragrance. I'm actually really happy to have it. And look at that bottle. That's so cute. So yeah, very nice day number 7. And how big is this? So this is a gorgeous day number 7, and we have 30 mils over here. Day number 8, long and kind of like light. So I'm assuming here we're going to have something not as impressive size-wise. Although, look at that pouch. That is so cute. Look at that. Okay, so I did not realize in the first moment, but we do have two fragrances over here. So these are Bacciami and Spettacolore. Bacciami, an intoxicating Floriental love filter creating a deep addiction to express Italian seduction. And then Spettacolore, a contrasted Oriental signature that incarnates the enchantment of the magic and beauty of La Festa della Luce. Okay, so let's have a quick sniff because I honestly haven't tried any of these fragrances before, so very exciting. So Bacciami is supposed to be like a vanilla white floral. That sounds good. The notes, very simple. We have gardenia, vanilla, and amber. That's it. So let's give it a go. Oh, that is nice. I don't really get much of the gardenia though. Gardenia can be a little bit... Oh no, I do get a gardenia now. It's just the opening is very vanilla-y, but then the gardenia actually comes through. It's a really nice fragrance. It's not going to be for everyone. Gardenia is, I think it's slightly difficult for some people to get through that note, but yeah, it's a really nice one. I actually like it. How big are these? I think they're both 10 mils, aren't they? Yes, they're both 10 mils. And then Spettacolore is an ambery iris fragrance. That sounds definitely even more up my alley. The notes here, iris, myrrh, and amber. That sounds delicious. Let's give it a sniff as well. Oh, that one. That one is like my thing. I love it. I love how like powdery it is. Like iris makes things a little bit more powdery, but the myrrh note, it's just to die for. I love it. This is going to be so good. I mean, I think I would maybe use it more like in autumn, but I think it could be a good all year rounder as well. This one is gorgeous. I hope I won't need to buy a full-size bottle because I like it too much. Okay, let's move on. Let's find the day number 9 now. Day number 9 over here, and here we have Tamine, and this is carved oud. So I have this fragrance already, same size. I love it. I think it's been in either Harrods or the Liberty London Fragrance Advent Calendar last year. Such a beautiful one. Quite a lot of notes here, so let's just quickly go through them. So here we have the top notes of cypress, cardamom, cypriol oil, and pink pepper. These are the top notes. Then we have middle notes of agarwood, cedar, patchouli, iris, and then base notes of musk, sandalwood, Haitian vetiver, amber, and vanilla. So as you can see, this is more of a woodsy aromatic fragrance, and this just smells gorgeous. I actually have this fragrance already in the same size and I love it. This is such a beautiful, deep, dark fragrance. I would describe it as unisex. I mean, yes, it's a unisex fragrance, literally. I really love the cypriol oil in it. It just makes it so interesting, so unique, you know. Very beautiful fragrance. It does smell expensive. Maybe it's not cheap, right? But it does smell expensive. Sometimes you have like those super expensive fragrances that don't really smell like the money you spent on them, but this one does. It's a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. I love it. So I'm actually happy to have a little backup of this as well. And we have 10 mils over here. Those 10 mils fragrances, they tend to last me quite a long time. So I think this is actually a really good size. So now we're moving on to day number 10, this one over here. And we have some Zerzhov, and this is Zerzhov Starlight. So here we have 15 mils, and this is what the bottle looks like. It is beautiful. That actually sounds quite amazing. So this is supposed to be a warm, spicy fragrance with some cinnamon and almond notes. So let's have a quick look at the notes per se. So top notes are cardamom and bergamot. Then middle notes, cinnamon, almond, and cloves. And then base notes, amber and cedar. I just cannot wait to test it out. This sounds to me like a perfect autumnal fragrance, but let's see. That is actually gorgeous, you know. This is a very aromatic, warm, spicy fragrance. It's not one of your gourmands. I mean, I know there's like cinnamon and there are like some edible notes in here, but it doesn't really smell gourmandy. It's much more classy. It's very cinnamony. The cardamom note is actually very noticeable as well. So this is, I would describe this as quite a dry fragrance. I find it quite dry, but it's very elegant. I'm not sure why Starlight, because it does not really give me a Starlight vibe at all. But maybe it made sense for the creator of this fragrance to me. It doesn't really smell like Starlight should smell, but it is stunning. Okay, so that was our day number 10. So we have 2 more to unbox. So this is our day number 11. Quite a heavy one as well. Okay, so I've never tried anything from this brand before. So this is Super Rose by Les Primordial, and this is what it looks like, and this actually seems quite big. What size is this? This is actually 30 ml, so not bad. Let's check the notes. So this is a floral fragrance. Top notes: pear, lychee, peach. Middle note: rose, mandarin, saffron, iris. I told you I love saffron, but I also love iris, so that sounds like a good combo. And then base notes of patchouli, vanilla, and white musk. So I just don't really have much space to try these on, but yeah, I'm just going to spray here, so hopefully it will work. That is really nice. This is more of this vintage kind of like floral fragrance. It's not your like modern lightweight floral that's going to be very springtime appropriate. This is like a heavy floral. This is a heavy floral, very elegant, very vintage, old school kind of scent. This is going to be perfect. In my book, this is like a wintry fragrance, like, you know, like a heavy floral fragrance. I get a lot of rose, iris, and saffron. Patchouli and musk are quite strong here as well. So I think this is a beautiful fragrance, but it's definitely more on the vintage kind of side of scents. So good. I don't really have many fragrances like that, so actually good to have something new in my collection. Okay, day number 12, the last day of this advent calendar, and what do we have here? It's not particularly heavy. Okay, so here we have something by Maison Francisco de Jean. This is what it looks like, and this is my wardrobe. So I'm assuming, yes, we have two fragrances over here, and these are both gentle fluidity. So we have gold and silver. Gentle fluidity gold is so popular, people tend to love it. I think it's very easy to like, actually. The silver one doesn't really get that much recognition. I do think it's actually a really beautiful fragrance, but let's talk about the gold one. So this is a beautiful vanilla, but like expensive smelling vanilla fragrance with some like ambery notes. So what we have here are vanilla, amber, musk, woodsy notes, juniper berries, nutmeg, and coriander. This is just stunning. If you haven't tried this fragrance, then there is a good opportunity to do that. I actually have this in a full-size bottle, and you know what, I'm actually happy to have a little mini bottle of that. This is 11 mils actually. This is a perfect handbag size. You don't really want to carry such an expensive fragrance with you in a full-size bottle, because you know these things can just, you know, break. So this is going to be a nice little addition to my collection. And then we have gentle fluidity silver. As I said, this one doesn't really get that much recognition. For some reason, not many people actually talk about it, and I find this fragrance to be stunning too. I don't own this in a full-size bottle, but I might at some point, who knows. So this is aromatic, spicy, woodsy scent. So as you can definitely guess, it's going to be quite different from the gold version. So the notes here are juniper berries, musk, coriander, woodsy notes, nutmeg, vanilla, and amber. So this is more... This is definitely much colder, more outdoorsy fragrance compared to this very kind of warm and aromatic gold version. I think that's actually a good comparison. The gold one is very warm. This one is cold. It just like literally gives me this cold, windy vibe to it. I think it's stunning. I think it's a beautiful fragrance. It's just so different, and I'm actually glad that we have these two fragrances here so that we can compare them. And for those of you who haven't tried the silver version, you can just give it a go now. Okay guys, so this is everything in the Harrods 12 Days of Fragrance Advent Calendar. What do you think? I love it. I personally love it. I think this is so worth the money if you like your fragrances, if you like your niche fragrances, if you're not afraid to experiment with your scents, because obviously if you only have like 2 or 3 fragrances that you pretty much wear, or if you're only into like one family of fragrances and like freshies for example, then I guess this might not be for you. I think this requires either love for like fragrances in general, or kind of like being open-minded about like new scents. But if you are in any of these 2 groups I mentioned, this is so worth the money. It's a beautiful advent calendar. The fragrances here are, I mean, these are like proper expensive scents in like really good sizes. And if I were to compare this to the last year's advent calendar, I actually can see a massive improvement. I mean, don't get me wrong, the last year's advent calendar, it was brilliant. But this one, I think it's even better. And let me tell you why. I mean, first of all, I think the sizes are better. We have like so many more like 30, 50 ml fragrances here, which is amazing. Obviously it's more expensive as well, so that's probably what you would expect, but still. And I do feel like there's more variety this time. So last year most of the fragrances were in this kind of like Middle Eastern, you know, like woodsy floral category, which, I mean, I love that category, don't get me wrong, but I did not really see much variety. This time we have a little bit of everything. So we have like some proper fruity florals, we have those kind of like typical woodsy floral kind of like Middle Eastern fragrances. We have some fragrances that give me this outdoorsy kind of like vibe. That's how I like to describe them, you know, this kind of like windswept outdoorsy vibe. So we have that. We have those like deep dark woodsy scents. We have like so many here, and the variety is actually amazing. There are a couple of fragrances I literally love. I'm super excited to have this one here. This is such a beautiful scent. The Bulgari scents sound like something I want to explore more, or the Zerjev one. I mean, I can't even mention like one or two because I feel like all of them are so good. I mean, there's only one fragrance I will not be using, and this is, as I mentioned before, the Molecule scent, only because it doesn't really go with my skin chemistry, but it actually works for most people anyway, so I'm probably just the exception here. Anyway, I do think this is a brilliant advent calendar. I love it. I definitely think it's worth the money, but what do you guys think? Let me know what you think about this one. If you purchased it, let me know what your experience with the fragrances was. And yeah, that's everything from me today. Thank you very much for watching. For more advent calendars, watch these ones over here. I'm going to see you very soon. Take care. Bye.